a demigod in a higher planet can also get it by the grace of the Lord. And if he is intelligent enough, he can desire to get up a spiritual body to enjoy the company of the Lord, and he will get it. So the minute freedom of the living entity can be fully utilized. And the Lord is so kind that he will award the living entity the same type of body as he desires. The living entity's desiring is like dreaming of a golden mountain. A person knows what a mountain is, and he knows also what gold is. Out of his desire only, he dreams of a golden mountain. And when the dream is over, he sees something else in his presence. He finds in his awakened state that there is neither gold nor a mountain. And what to speak of a golden mountain? The different positions of living entities in the material world under multifarious manifestations of bodies are due to the misconception of mine and I. The karmi thinks of this world as mine, and the jnani thinks I am everything. The whole material conception of politics, sociology, philanthropy, altruism, etc., conceived by the conditioned souls, is on the basis of this misconceived I and mine, which are products of a strong desire to enjoy material life. Identification with the body and the place where the body is obtained under different conceptions of socialism, nationalism, family affection, and so on and so forth, is all due to forgetfulness of the real nature of the living entity. And the whole misconception of the bewildered living entity can be removed by the association of Sukadeva Goswami and Maharaj Pariksit, as all this is explained in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Translation again. The illusion living entity appears in so many forms offered by the external energy of the Lord. While enjoying in the modes of material nature, the encaged living entity misconceived, thinking in terms of I and mine. When His Grace Anuttama Das Adhikari was here recently, he compared the different bodies, 8,400,000 different bodies of the spirit soul as the different rides. Like before I came to Kansas City, I was in Orlando, Florida for 7 years. Orlando's the home of Disney World, and there are millions of people go there to ride on these different rides. Someone's riding on the Ferris wheel, someone's riding on the roller coaster, someone's riding on the bumper cars, someone's riding on the tilt-a-whirl, someone's riding on various boats, but all of them are trying to enjoy their senses in different ways. And these are comparable to different types of bodies. Someone likes to fly in the sky and try to go to the moon. In his next life, he could get the body of a bird and fly in the sky all day long. Someone's attracted to surfing in the ocean, and he could get the body of a shark or a fish and enjoy in the water all day and night. So the Lord is very kind. Whatever desires we have, the Lord is eager to fulfill as much as we deserve. So this conception of ahankara, this is the first created element by Lord Brahma, ahankara. And one of the coverings of this universe is ahankara. This ahankara layer is very thick. It's thicker than the intelligence, thicker than the mind. It's thicker than the earth, water, fire, air, and ether. And this ahankara is continuing our suffering in this material world, birth after birth in various species of life. But in the human form of life, this is the opportunity to get free of ahankara, to get free of illusion, and to go back home, back to Godhead. And Shukadeva Goswami, by the grace of the Lord, he became free of this ahankara, and he was answering the questions of Maharaj Pariksit, who also was free from ahankara, but he took the position of a student and he was asking questions, and Sukadeva Goswami was answering. Are there any questions or comments so far? Today's an auspicious day, which is celebrated, especially in Vrindavan, as Gopastami and Goshtastami. On this day, Krishna attained the age of about 6 years, and at this age, this is the first day that Krishna was given charge of the cows of Vrindavan in the forest. Before this, Krishna has 3 ages: the Kumara age up to 6 years, the Paganda age from 6 years to 11, and from 11 to 16 years old, Krishna was in his Kaishora age. And in the Kumara age, Krishna is engaged in taking care of the cows. And in the Paganda age, Krishna graduates to taking care of the cows. And before this, Nanda Maharaj and the cowherd men had a meeting. And in this meeting, they decided that all the boys in Vrindavan, up to their 6th year, they can be taking care of the cows. And from the 6th to the 11th year, they can be taking care of the cows. So on this day, Krishna went out to the forest to herd the cows. This is a daily activity. And this is not like these boys were abused because they were forced to work at such an early age. But it's not work to them. For them, it was play, sporting. And the work of tending cows is not the same as working in a factory or mine, which is called ugrakarma. It's very horrible, miserable work. So the cowherd boys were enjoying their life in Vrindavan. And when Krishna went out to tend the cows, he was not wearing shoes. He was barefoot. And the girls of Vrindavan, they became full of anxiety because Krishna's soft lotus feet was being pricked by the jaggers, by the brambles and thorns in the forest and the sharp stones on the cow paths of Vrindavan. So when Krishna was in the forest, the gopis and the cowherd girls were always concerned for Krishna's well-being. Jai, Sisi Gornatai. And today's the disappearance day of 3 associates of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. These associates were Sri Dhananjay Pandit, Sri Gadadhar Das Goswami, and Sri Srinivasacharya. And all of them were pure devotees, pure Vaishnavas. And Dhananjay Pandit, he's praised in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita as a very renounced and fully absorbed in love of Krishna. He's so renounced that the only possession of Dhananjay Pandit was his kamandalu. The kamandalu is a water pot that's carried by renunciates in the Vedic culture. And in the Vedic culture, the kamandalu is a symbol of renunciation. And during Lord Chaitanya's Navadvip pastimes, this Dhananjay Pandit was engaged in kirtan. Later on, after Lord Chaitanya took sannyas, he ordered Dhananjay Pandit to go to Vrindavan. And this is also the disappearance day of Sri Gadadhar Das Pandit. We sing his glories every day. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhar, Sri Vasudeva Gaur Bhaktavinda. Gadadhar is one of the Panchatattvas, and he is an incarnation of Radharani. And when we say this Panchatattva Mahamantra, the accent on the word Gadadhar is on the second syllable, because the second Gadadhar has 4 A's. The second A is a long A, and the rest of the A is a short. And the final A is silent. So some devotees say, Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar. This is incorrect. It's not Gadadhar, it's Gadadhar. And similarly, in Srila Prabhupada's Pranam mantra, some devotees say, Namo Vishnu Badaya Krishna Vishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namane. Namaste Saraswati. It's not Saraswati. In the Pranam mantra, it's Saraswati. And when Srila Prabhupada was on this planet, he corrected his devotees who were saying these mantras incorrectly, because these two mantras are very important. And although they're in a language that's not English, still we should try our best to pronounce them properly. And Gadadhar Das Goswami, he appeared in this world 1 year after Lord Chaitanya appeared in Navadvip. And from his early childhood, Gadadhar Pandit and Lord Chaitanya were inseparable friends. They would walk to school together. They would study together. They would eat together. They would walk home from school together. They would take bath in the Ganges together. They were very much fond of each other's association. And when Lord Chaitanya finally took sannyas, and in the Anjalita, he moved to Jagannath Puri. And at that time, Gadadhar Pandit Goswami also moved to Jagannath Puri. And formerly he was a householder, but he took Kshetra sannyas. Kshetra sannyas is a type of sannyas where one takes a vow never to leave the holy dham. So Gadadhar Pandit Goswami took the vow never to leave Jagannath Puri. And Sri Srinivasa Acharya is also a very important personality in Lord Chaitanya's Sankirtan movement. Srinivasa Acharya is called the original book distributor. He distributed the books of the six Goswamis, especially in Bengal and Orissa. Even today, and if you go to Bengal and Orissa, all the people know Lord Chaitanya. They know Narottam Das Thakur. They know Srinivasa Acharya because he preached very, very widely in that part of the world. Srinivasa Acharya's father and mother, they were pious Brahmins. Srinivasa Acharya's father's name was Chaitanya Das. Formerly, he was known as Gangadhara Bhattacharya. That was his birth name. But he was present at the sannyas ceremony in Katwa, where Lord Chaitanya was taking sannyas, and the barber named Madhu, this Madhu was shaving off the beautiful black hair of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And the Lord's devotees were in very great anxiety and grief because they knew that Lord Chaitanya would be going away from Navadvip. And this Gangadhar Bhattacharya, he was also in tremendous grief, and he began chanting constantly, Ha Garanga, crying. So the devotees present changed his name to Chaitanya Das, and that was his given name from that time on. And Chaitanya Das and his wife had the desire of a child who would be a pure devotee of the Lord. But for many years, they had no children. And Lord Chaitanya knew their desire. And one night, the wife had a dream where Lord Chaitanya told her that she would soon have a child, and this child's name would be Srinivas. But at first, the husband did not believe his wife, and he thought, how is this possible that Lord Chaitanya is talking to us? So they decided to go to Jagannath Puri and ask Lord Chaitanya in person if this is true. So after arriving in Jagannath Puri, they saw Lord Chaitanya. He was accompanied by a great crowd of sannyasis in a Sankirtan party. And when Lord Chaitanya saw Chaitanya Das and his wife approach him, he ordered the crowd of devotees to give way and let them come and have darshan at his lotus feet. And he requested Chaitanya Das and his wife to have the darshan of Lord Jagannath there in Jagannath Puri. And he informed them that Lord Jagannath will soon fulfill their desire. They would have a son. They should name this son Srinivas. And he predicted that this son would spread the teachings of the six Goswamis all over Bengal and Orissa. So it soon came to pass after the husband and wife returned to their home. They lived in this small village in Bengal, and the son was born. It was very beautiful son, and all the people of the village just loved this child so much. And when Srinivas was 4 years old, one time his father Chaitanya Das was in the temple chanting the holy names of the Lord, and he began crying, loudly crying, and Srinivas, he was only 4 years old. He came to the temple room. He was his family was wealthy because they had a separate temple room in their own house, and he asked his father, "Why are you crying, my dear father?" And his father said, "I have no love for Radha and Krishna. I have no love for Lord Chaitanya." And Srinivas also began crying, says, "I also have no love for Radha and Krishna. I have no love for Chaitanya. I am so fallen. I'm so unfortunate." And the wife also heard her husband and the child crying in the temple room, and she ran. The temple says, "What's going on?" They said, "We have no love for Radha and Krishna. We're so fallen. What would become of us? Who can save us?" And the wife also fell down in the temple room crying with the same attitude. And when Srinivasacharya was 9 years old, a sannyasi Brahmin was on pilgrimage, and he came to the house of Chaitanya Das. And in the Veda culture, any guest that comes to a householder's house is treated just like God. what to speak of a sannyasi. And Chaitanya Das said he, to this sannyasi, whatever you want, I'm prepared to give you. Just ask me, and I will arrange for it. And the sannyasi said, "Oh, you don't you don't want to hear my request." And Chaitanya Das didn't quite understand. He said, "No, whatever you want, I'm prepared to give you. Please ask me. I'm prepared to fulfill all your desires." And the Brahmin said, "No. What I really want is your son, Srinivas. I want to take him with me." And when Chaitanya Das heard this request, he was so overwhelmed that he fell over and lost consciousness. So Srinivas, at the age of 9 years, he left home and went on pilgrimage with this sannyasi. And this is the beginning of his spiritual journey. And he went to various places of Lord Chaitanya's pastimes. And he wanted to meet Lord Chaitanya himself. So he arranged to go to Jagannath Puri. And when he arrived in Jagannath Puri, there's a great festival because on the previous day, Lord Chaitanya had left this world. So the young boy was overwhelmed with grief. Lord Chaitanya's left. I'm so unfortunate. He's pulling out his hair. He's ready to commit suicide. But devotees like Gadadhar Pandit was there, and they consoled the young boy. And Gadadhar Das arranged to teach Srinivasacharya Srimad Bhagavatam. And when he had got his copy of Srimad Bhagavatam, it was illegible because all the ink in the book was smeared. This is due to the tears of Gadadhar Das Goswami, because whenever Gadadhar would try to read Srimad Bhagavatam, his tears would just fall from his eyes and get the book all wet, and the ink was smeared so much that no one could read it. So they try to find another volume of Srimad Bhagavatam. But in those days, books were very valuable because that was the days before printing presses. This is in the 16th century. And all the books were handwritten by a scribe. And gradually, Srinivas made his way to Vrindavan Dham. When he went to Vrindavan for the first time, he wanted to meet the 6 Goswamis. But when he arrived in Vrindavan, he found out that Lord Sanatan Goswami had already disappeared months earlier. And when he got to Vrindavan, there was a festival, and that festival was for the disappearance of Rupa Goswami, because Rupa Goswami had disappeared the previous day. So once again, Srinivas was merged in the lamentation. These six Goswamis, out of the 6, 3 were already gone, and Raghunath Bhatta Goswami was still present, and Jiva Goswami was still present. And Srinivasacharya took spiritual initiation from Gopal Bhatta Goswami, because Gopal Bhatta Goswami is his eternal spiritual master. And Krishna Lila, Gopal Bhatta Goswami is called Guna Manjari. Manjari is a young female maidservant of the gopis. And in Krishna Lila, Srinivasacharya is also a Manjari. And there were many other pastimes of Srinivasacharya. Gradually, Srinivas had the association of Jiva Goswami, and Jiva Goswami taught him all the great Vaishnava literatures. And finally, Jiva Goswami instructed Srinivas that you take a big bullock cart, and on this bullock cart, have a wooden chest and fill it with all the writings of the 6 Goswamis and distribute this literature far and wide, all over Bengal and Orissa. And this is the beginning of the first traveling Sankirtan party in the Lord Chaitanya's movement. And Srinivasacharya was the first book distributor, along with Shamananda Prabhu and Narottam Das Thakur. When they first started out, Shamananda Goswami was called Dukha Krishna Das. So these three devotees, Dukha Krishna Das, Srinivas Acharya, and Narottam Das Thakur, they formed a transcendental Sankirtan party. And Jiva Goswami arranged armed guards for them. And they sent them out from Vrindavan to Bengal, which is a dangerous journey in those days, because they had to pass through territories which were administered by the Muslims, and they came to one town called Vishnupura, which was administered by a Hindu king. But actually, this Hindu king was somewhat dishonest, because he was like a warlord. He was like a gang leader, and he led a gang of highwaymen who would rob merchants of their valuables on the roads. And an astrologer told this Hindu king that there was a bullock cart party. This bullock cart was pulled by four bullocks. Bullocks means young bulls. So this astrologer informed this Hindu king that there's a merchant who was carrying a cargo that was the most valuable merchandise in the entire universe. And the king thought, this is a great opportunity. I'll be the richest man in the world if I get this cargo. So he waited for the entrance into this town of Vishnupura. And when all the guys in this Santan party fell asleep after a long day of traveling, the highwaymen made their dastardly deed, and they stole a bullock cart. But the king um, informed these thieves that please do no harm to these individuals. So the thieves stole the cart. So in the morning, when the devotees woke up, they saw that the cart was stolen. So they became full of anxiety because all the six Goswamis' books were stolen. This is the most valuable treasure that they were distributing all over. And when Brahman informed them that why don't you go see the king and tell the king of your plight? And they heard that the king was fond of going to meetings where Srimad Bhagavatam was recited. So they went to the Bhagavatam recitation, and sure enough, the king was there. And Srinivas and the other devotees told the king that their cart had been stolen, and this cart contained the Goswami literatures on Bhakti Yoga. And formerly, when the king opened this wooden chest, this chest was covered by a wax-covered cloth to make it waterproof, to protect all these valuable books from rain and dew. And when the king saw the books, he was disappointed because he was expecting gold and jewels, but here was a trunk full of books. But still, at the same time, he was attracted, and he was purified just by seeing these books. And gradually, this king met Srinivasacharya, and he became a surrendered soul to Srinivasacharya and took initiation from Srinivasacharya, and from that time on, he was a great Vaishnava, and he surrendered all the wealth in this kingdom to Srinivasacharya, and all the citizens in this kingdom also became great devotees of the Lord Krishna. And many years later, Srinivasacharya came back to this town of Vishnupura, and he came to see his disciple, the king. And at that time, at night, Srinivas had a dream, and in this dream, Lord Chaitanya requested him to accept one girl as his second wife. He already had one wife, but Lord Chaitanya requested him to marry for the second time. So this girl's name was Granga Priya. So he was married for the second time on the order of Lord Chaitanya. And in his married life, Srinivasacharya had a daughter who became a guru. And this daughter's name was Himalata Thakurani. And the descendants of this Himalata Thakurani still live in the area of Vrajabhumi, and they're highly respected as a Brahmin family. And Srinivasacharya, sometimes he would go into trance when he was chanting japa. Sometimes he couldn't help it, and he would lose all external consciousness. And one day he was chanting in his temple room, and he entered into the Raj Leela. He saw his Siddha form as a Manjari, and he entered the forest of Vrindavan, and there were beautiful flowering vines there. And he heard laughter and singing in the forest by Radha Kund. And when he went to Radha Kund, he found out that Srimati Radharani had just finished performing her Jala Kali Leela in Radha Kund, and in the water she had lost her valuable nose ring, her favorite nose ring, and there was somewhere at the bottom of Radha Kund, and she couldn't find it. So in his spiritual body, Srinivasacharya dove into Radha Kund again and again, and for many hours, but he could not find Radharani's nose ring, despite his best efforts. And after 2 days, he was in this trance for 2 days. And his 2 wives, they became concerned about their husband's welfare because he hadn't eaten for 2 days. He hadn't slept. He was unconscious of the external world. When they spoke to their husband, he did not answer. He was apparently unconscious, and he was barely breathing. So these 2 wives approached Srinivasacharya's favorite disciple, who was named Ramachandra, and this Ramachandra came to the temple and saw his Srinivasacharya, and he offered obeisances to his guru, and he told the 2 wives, "Don't worry, your husband will be all right. He's okay. He's only in trance now." So Ramacharya sat down next to his guru and began chanting Hare Krishna. And he also entered the Vraj Leela trance. And he saw that he was in his spiritual body, which is a Manjari named Karuna Manjari. And he found out that Radharani was distraught because she had lost her nose ring at the bottom of Radha Kund. So he dove into Radha Kund looking for Radharani's nose ring. He was diving again and again. Finally, after half an hour of searching, he found Radharani's nose ring at the bottom of Radha Kund, and he presented it to Srinivasacharya in a spiritual form. And Srinivasacharya, in turn, presented this nose ring to Sri Rupa Manjari, and Rupa Manjari put the nose ring on the nose of Srimati Radharani. And Srimati Radharani was so pleased with Srinivasacharya's service that she presented him with a tambula that she had personally chewed. And he requested, Rupa Goswami, you give this to this Manjari, who is actually Srinivasacharya. Srinivasacharya took some portion of this prasad of Radharani, and he gave the remainder of Radharani's prasad to his disciple, Ramananda Prabhu. And when Srinivas finally awakened from this trance, it was 3 days later. So his disciple Ramananda Prabhu had also been in this Rajlita trance for 1 day, and by this time the wives were crying because they thought that their husband might be might be leaving his body, but then they came out of the trance and told them this whole pastime, and they were very very much relieved. So it's time now for the Sankirtan festival. Are there any comments or questions? Yes. Jaya Keshava Prabhu.
Hare, Hare Krishna. Is there, I just want to share my appreciation for the class first. That was amazing. Is there a instance in the Chaitanya Charitamrita or Chaitanya Leela where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is celebrating Gopastami?
Suffering what?
Celebrating
Oh,
Gopastami.
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 On the Gopastami day, Krishna himself worshiped the cows because Gopastami and Goshtastami is a special day for worshiping the cows and bulls. And on this day, Krishna declared that even the demigods are engaged in worshiping the cows and bulls. So on this day, and also on Govardhan Puja, the cows and bulls are decorated, and they're offered all kinds of opulent foodstuffs. Not that I ever read. Anybody else ever read anything about Chaitanya celebrating Gopastami? Although Chaitanya is Krishna himself, so I'm sure if it's not celebrated externally, at least in his mind, he observes all these Vaishnava functions. Jai, it's time for the Sankirtan Festival. Thank you very much for patiently hearing Srimad Bhagavatam.
We'll announce the Sankirtan scores for this week for the pleasure of their lordships, Sri Sri Gaurnitai, Lord Nrsimhadev, Tulsi Maharani, the Sempradaya Acharyas, His Holiness Danavir Goswami, and all the assembled devotees. So this week, I don't think everyone sent me their score, but this week we had 2 book distributors. So with 6 small books, 1 medium book, and 3 big books, and 8 Maha big books, for a total of 30 book points. Jai Keshava Prabhu. Jai. And with 18 small books, 28 big books, and 32 Maha big books, for a total of 96.5 book points. Rishi Kumar Das. Hare Krishna. So one highlight, for one person who came to the temple, I invited this lady that I met at the Oak Park Mall, and in the morning on Sunday, and then she came to the Sunday feast, and she really liked the whole program, and she thought the temple was very nice, and she met with Maharaj and asked a good question, and so that was nice. But for the book distributing highlight, I met this guy named Elvis, and he was just really excited to get the books. I think he had just finished college. He was kind of around that age, and he was saying he wants to come here. I have his phone number, so I'm trying to get him to come here. But he was just really excited. I don't know why. Like he said this huge smile the whole time, and he said, I only have like $100 bills," and he pulled out his wallet with like $500 bills in it. I was like, "You can be the first to give 100," and he's like, he's had this huge smile. He's just like, so he decided not to do that, but he got change from these nice Indian people who let us keep all the books at their store in the mall. And he gave a donation and took some books. And I was like, "Why don't you give more and take the rest of them?" And he gave more and took the rest. So he's a cool guy, Elvis. Transcendental Book Distribution Ki Jai.
We were at Independence Mall, right? Independence Mall, distributing books. And oh wait, that's not the one I want to tell. I want to tell the one at the plaza. We went to the plaza Friday, Saturday afternoon. There we go, Saturday afternoon. And there was a gentleman who I saw go into a store and get a drink, and then he came out, and I was like, okay, he looks like he might take some books. He like stopped and was like drinking his drink in front of the Harinam. And I approached him and asked him if he wanted books, and he said no. And then I just gave him our card, and he continued to stand there. He was there for maybe like 15 minutes at least. And then I gave him the mantra meditation little booklet thing that we pass out, and he started chanting with us. And he was like looking at all of us, and we were all kind of encouraging him to chant. And by the time he was ready to leave, he kind of motioned for me to come over, and he asked for the books. So we gave him a copy of Bhagavad Gita as it is, and Science of Self-Realization. So the Harinam purifies. Transcendental Book Distribution Ki Jai.
Also, Radha Stali Mataji was giving people like 3 to 4 Maha or big books at the mall, but I don't have the score, so we can read that one in the total later. But that's all of them for now. Do you want to give one highlight from? That'd be good.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, Rishi Kumar, Keshava Das and I went to Independence Mall, and for a long time, Keshava and I were just floating around the entrance, just trying to see who could take the books, and I was getting rejected a lot. But then finally I just like stood there and I just prayed and I just waited. And this one guy, he had like an NYU shirt. And I was just like, whoa, do you like to read? And I was like, you look super chill. And he was like, oh, yeah, yeah, okay. And I almost just let him go. Like, he almost just thought, like, okay, nice person that said hi and walked away. And I was like, wait, let me show you something. He's like, oh, yeah, yeah, okay, let me see. And so I just like gave him one book, and I just like thought about how the other devotees, they usually would just stack books on top of each other and just say, oh, look at this one and look at that one. So I tried. I'm like, let's see what happens. So it was the devotees' mercy. I learned from them to like start stacking books on their hands. And then Keshava came and added the Srimad Bhagavatam. And so he took maybe like 7 books with him. And yeah, so hopefully he'll come to one of our Sunday feasts. Transcendental Book Distribution Ki Jai.